Welcome back, Forgotten Crimes fans. Today we are delving into the shocking and brutal case of Katherine Knight, a woman whose horrific crime has earned her a notorious place in Australian criminal history. Known for the gruesome murder of her partner, Knight's actions left the nation in shock and horror. Katherine Mary Knight was born on October 24, 1955, in Tenterfield, New South Wales, Australia. She was the product of a scandalous affair between her mother, Barbara Rowan, and Ken Knight, a friend of Barbara's husband, Jack Rowan. This tumultuous start set the tone for Katherine's troubled childhood. Barbara eventually left Jack to live with Ken, and Katherine, along with her siblings, was subjected to a chaotic and abusive home environment. Barbara frequently confided in Katherine about her hatred for men and the sexual abuse she endured from Ken, instilling in her daughter a deep-seated resentment and anger. Katherine's early life was marked by violence and instability. She was known to be a bully in school, and her temper was volatile. Despite this, she managed to find employment at a local slaughterhouse, where she quickly excelled. Knight found solace in her work, particularly enjoying the act of butchering animals. Her proficiency with knives became well known, and she even hung her own set of butcher knives above her bed for easy access. Knight's personal relationships were equally turbulent. Her first significant relationship was with David Kellett, a hard-drinking co-worker at the slaughterhouse. Their relationship was marked by violence from the start. Katherine once tried to strangle Kellett on their wedding night because he fell asleep after only 3 rounds of sex. Despite the violence, the couple had 2 daughters, but their relationship eventually ended after Knight's escalating violence became too much for Kellett to bear. Knight's subsequent relationships followed a similar pattern of violence and instability. She had brief relationships with several men, all of whom suffered abuse at her hands. Her most infamous relationship, however, was with John Price, a local miner. Price was a well-liked man with 3 children from a previous marriage. Despite knowing about Katherine's violent history, Price entered into a relationship with her, which ultimately led to his gruesome death. In February 2000, Price ended their relationship after Knight stabbed him in the chest during an argument. However, Knight was determined to win him back. On February 29, 2000, she convinced Price to let her stay at his house. That night, after Price had gone to bed, Knight attacked him with a butcher knife. Price tried to escape but was overpowered by Knight, who stabbed him 37 times. She then skinned his body, hung the skin on a meat hook in the living room, and decapitated him. Knight cooked parts of his body and prepared a meal, setting the table with place settings for Price's children, along with notes with their names. Price's co-workers became concerned when he did not show up for work the next day. They alerted the police, who arrived at Price's house to a scene of unimaginable horror. Knight was found comatose on the floor after taking a large number of pills. She was arrested and charged with murder. The trial of Katherine Knight began in October 2001. The evidence against her was overwhelming, and the details of the crime shocked the nation. Knight initially pleaded not guilty, but later changed her plea to guilty, sparing her children and Price's family the ordeal of a trial. On November 8, 2001, Knight was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, making her the first woman in Australian history to receive such a sentence. Knight's actions have left a lasting impact on the community and the families involved. The brutality of her crime and the cold, calculated manner in which she carried it out have made her one of the most infamous figures in Australian criminal history. The case also highlighted significant issues regarding domestic violence and the importance of recognizing and addressing the signs of abusive behavior before it escalates to such tragic outcomes. The legacy of Katherine Knight's crime extends beyond the immediate horror of her actions. It has prompted discussions about the nature of violent behavior and the psychological factors that drive individuals to commit such extreme acts. Knight's history of abuse and instability, combined with her violent tendencies, create a complex portrait of a woman capable of unimaginable cruelty. Katherine Knight's background and early life provide some insight into the development of her disturbing behaviors. Her experiences of abuse and violence in her formative years likely played a significant role in shaping her violent tendencies. The profound impact of her traumatic childhood, combined with her genetic predisposition to mental illness, created a dangerous combination that ultimately led to her horrific actions. Throughout her life, Knight exhibited a meticulous and chillingly methodical approach to her violence. She often targeted individuals who were close to her, using her intimate knowledge of their habits and weaknesses to manipulate and control them. Knight's ability to lure her victims into a false sense of security before unleashing her violent rage speaks to her manipulative nature. Knight's capture and trial were a turning point in the public's understanding of the depths of human depravity. The detailed confessions and evidence presented were both horrifying and illuminating, offering a rare glimpse into the mind of a killer. The trial itself was a media spectacle, drawing widespread attention and leading to significant public discourse on the issues of domestic violence, mental health, and criminal justice. The legacy of Katherine Knight's crimes extends beyond the immediate horror of her actions. It has led to important changes in how law enforcement and society at large approach issues of domestic violence, mental health, and the treatment of individuals with severe psychological disturbances. The failures that allowed Knight to continue her pattern of violence for so long have prompted reforms aimed at preventing similar tragedies in the future. The Katherine Knight case also highlights the complex nature of criminal pathology and the interplay between environmental and psychological factors in the development of violent behavior. While Knight's actions were undoubtedly monstrous, understanding the factors that contributed to her crimes is essential in developing effective prevention and intervention strategies. In reflecting on the life and crimes of Katherine Knight, it is crucial to remember the victims and the suffering caused by her actions. The random and senseless nature of her violence shattered the lives of many families and left a community grappling with the aftermath of unimaginable horror. While Knight herself has become a symbol of evil, the true tragedy lies in the innocent lives that were lost and the enduring pain of those who survived. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Forgotten Crimes. We love diving into the world of true crime, exploring the stories that grip the world and uncovering the details that make these cases so fascinating. If there's a case you're curious about or if you have any thoughts to share, let us know. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive and remember, the world of crime is as complex as it is captivating.